Welcome back to the channel, Jaden Chase. Now if you're new, remember to like, to share, and also to subscribe. Now, clearly Andre Stevens is going through a serious situation, not only with his former business partner, but also with his own mother. And clearly the situation between the two of them have been turbulent, to say the least. But Andre feels that with him going through the situation he may go through now, she should have reached out. Tell me if you feel like what him say to her was justified. And make on your walk one and they will continue the reasoning. Look and listen.
You're one of the biggest fools I know. You're fool no blood clot. Your son said not to text you, not even say no. Make me go run go find my son. Use a blood clot evil. Coming at any blood clot farm to tell people say you love them and so to take back your wealth from them. And now give you none of my blood clot legacy. Call back my blood clot phone. Hey, me done with you, you know. Me done with you. From my granny I go live, me done with you. I go and make sure I burying you for life. Dr. Nisbet did don't tell me who you be, you know. And so when Dr. Nisbet tell me I reveal, all of the women them round me tell me, you think them like you? Them says a wicked Jezebel. You only come when the time right. But spiritual bumbleclot attack and rather you come sleep with your first bumbleclot son. Where your bumbleclot do. That's why your bumbleclot do. Always bumbleclot protect everybody else. And your face see, your bumble. All you do is protect what is yours and that. Don't blood clot come in my yard. Use a open disgrace and a Jezebel. Don't come a blood clot yard, you know. Me done with you, you know. My sister them, me make sure that my sister them get my things and my granny. But you see you come a blood clot yard. Use a don't come back nowhere near me. Because every weekend when him there jail, you fight them with Brandon in a bumble clot problem. But you first spinning well over here the blood clot most. You don't know for you see you? Don't blood clot come back round me. I will destroy you. Don't come back round me.
Now, the Prime Minister had this to say as it regards to the crime and violence taking place in Kingston. And with some of these communities just minutes away from the Jamaican Parliament itself, clearly what is needed by law enforcement is the investment, the technology where them need, and the advanced training where them need to use these technologies. But we make only hear the Prime Minister have to say, and they will continue the reasoning. Look and listen.
And the bill phase is not just the physical infrastructure, it is also repairing the heart and soul of the community. One of the testimonials which touched my heart was of a young lady who pointed out that she was going through so much trauma, so much stress. And when Project Star was brought to her, one of the Project Star agents suggested that she should get counseling. And she rejected it at first, like many Jamaicans do. We have come to internalize and accept trauma as normal. We have come to accept violence as a normal part of our culture and how we live. It is abnormal. The level of violence that we have and that we inflict on each other, it is abnormal. And until we accept that, we will continue to have challenges with our society. Now, the good thing is that the young lady decided to accept the invitation to counseling. And her testimony is that counseling helped her to deal with the trauma that she was experiencing in her life. And if there is one message from the Project Star experience that we would want to carry right across Jamaica, is that if you have a challenge, if you have personal problems, if you have social and emotional problems, mental challenges, talk to someone. And there are professionals, people who are trained, who can be of great assistance in this regard. And I want to commend Project Star for bringing this kind of social intervention into inner city communities where trauma exists as a daily feature of person's existence. We have to show our people that the trauma, that the violence, that the aggression, it's not normal, it shouldn't be, and there is indeed another way. So the government crime fighting strategy has been very tactile. It has focused heavily on investing in the police force and the military. It has invested heavily in technology and equipment, and it has invested heavily in the dynamic response of the security forces to ensure that we control spaces, that we control actors, and that we are able to interdict criminals and prosecute. That is half of the problem. The next phase of the government's crime fighting strategy is to treat with the center of the problem. And the center of the problem is the person. So we have to now invest heavily in our social support, our psychological and emotional support. We have to invest heavily in our crime prevention, in our youth involvement, in our community involvement. And you would have started to see the government making those kinds of investment in some of the interventions that we have been putting significant resources in for our young people, for psychological and social and emotional support. But we're going to take that a step further. We have had now for the last 2 years a committee that has been empaneled to develop a national strategy to deal with violence, and this is the National Commission for the Prevention of Violence, headed by Professor Sams Vaughan, and it is a whole of society effort where our persons who are skilled in this area, persons who are academics, and persons who understand this area have been working in a collaborative effort to look at all the interventions that the government already would have sponsored or would have effected, and to bring them together in a cohesive whole of government approach to treat with the other element of the challenge, and that is the violence, the social and socio-emotional interactions, those areas which we have not made a budgetary effort to treat with. So Project STAR could be considered as one element in this strategy. It is private sector led, it is government supported, it is not intended, and when these projects come on board, sometimes the recipients believe that these projects will be there forever. The private sector can't carry social projects forever, but their intervention is intended to fill gaps where they exist, to give immediate relief, and to find ways to integrate them into the government's program. And the government has to recognize this, that these roles, these public good roles, the private sector will play a role, but government ultimately must step up to the plate and have, because government has infrastructure to do it, and government must do it. So Project STAR is a good start and a good example. I encourage other members of the private sector who are not yet on board to come on board. I am relatively pleased with the progress of parade guards in particular and Central Kingston in general. You may not know, but I received many calls at the height of the gang war. Persons who would call to tell me they can't sleep, gunmen running through their yards, on top of their roofs, burning down their houses. People who were friends before all of a sudden became enemies.
And if you're new to the channel, just pass through, but click the subscribe icon, then the bell icon, and of course, put it on all. And this is how you know will be notified of all fresh content as soon as fresh content is uploaded and made available for you right here upon the platform. The like icon is also in close proximity to the share icon. Drop a like and bust a share. And tell a friend, tell them sister and them brother them for check out the channel, check out the reasoning, and also join the discussion. The comment section up 24/7. It never lack it. Just be respectful and mindful of the guidelines. But other than that, drop your thoughts, your comments, and yes, your opinions there. And we can continue reasoning via the comment section. Now, if it on a quick recap, Andre Stevens' conversation with his mother has made it online. And the Prime Minister has unveiled new strategies for crime fighting in the Kingston area. And of course, as said, with Parliament in close proximity to some of these communities. The status of Wagwan. Until the reason again, live, love, and prosper, and stay tuned.